and welcome to this week's hashtag Toe to Toe. I am delighted to say that we are joined by Amir Khan and Spencer Fearon. Amir, congratulations on your win at the weekend. Did it feel good going 12 rounds? You've not been 12 rounds in 3 years, have you?
That's right, yeah. I mean, honestly, what I took from that fight is amazing, and I'm very, very happy that it went the distance. And whatever happened in that fight, obviously, I got put down, I put him down. It's all going to work for me in the future, for the future big fights. It's what I needed. I know I can't switch off even up against a guy who you have knocked down. So the time I got knocked down by Vargas was the same way when I knocked him down. So I kind of switched off thinking, oh, you know what, I got this in the bag. I'm going to stop this guy in 1 or 2 rounds.
Yeah.
And then boom, he gets me down. And then totally changes the whole story. But I was fine, you know, when he put me down. But it was a great experience for me. Like I said, I don't really class the last fight before the Vargas fight against Le Greco a fight because it finished so quickly. But this one was a full 12 rounds, and I just got used to being in the ring, take that ring rust away, moves, just get the feel of being in the ring again. Like I said, 3 years, is a long time when you ain't done 12 rounds. So yeah. I'm glad I did that.
Spencer, what did you make of Amir's performance on Saturday?
I'm glad that Amir Khan sat beside me, and I'm just glad that he's here because I'm not speaking behind anybody's back.
No.
And I think he did switch off. He switched off, but all the credit in the world should be given to Vargas because he's very, very clever in the way that it was a manoeuvring shot. Like he dummied the jab, then Amir's hands lowered, then he went a 1-2. And it wasn't like it was a pause in it. It was like throw 1-2 at the top, something that you do on the bag continuously. And I think that.
And I saw it as well. It was a lot quicker than I thought. I mean, I thought he was very slow, but that right hand came in quick. I mean, he put me down, and it was like I didn't see it coming, you know. So, I mean, he was smart. I mean, he trained hard, and also Spencer. Another thing is, obviously, I know he's been beaten by Garcia and he's been beaten by Spence. Yeah. Now, he himself said he's probably in the best shape he's ever been in. I think he's about 27 years old, probably at the peak of his career. And Eddie gave him 10 weeks of training for me to know that he's going fighting me instead of having a 2-week notice before fighting Spence or Garcia, which he had.
I hear that.
So
but people ain't looking. People are not going to be watching that fight knowing these stats. Those stats don't mean anything to them. Yeah. They'll be looking on paper. They're going to be thinking, you know what? Ooh, well, you know. And I believe, I'm just being open and you're here with me, right? And I'm saying this in a position of love and not out of despair. That I believe that you could have taken him kind of lightly in training camp. You coming on the scales and being slightly missing the first weigh-in and stuff. I think that you took him lightly because your eyes have been set on bigger things with the Manny Pacquiao fight and also this still long drawn out and it gets boring Kell Brook fight. Yeah. So I think maybe your eyes were being.
I mean, it can happen. It can happen. You know, end of the day, we prize fighters, and we want to fight at the biggest stage in the world, and to fight in a stage like against someone like Manny Pacquiao or Kell Brook. It's huge, and when you know you've got a dangling carrot there, but you've got someone in front of you, sometimes you don't take the thing in the middle seriously. You want to go for the big prize. Looking at the record, I thought, you know what, this is going to be not an easy fight. It's a fight I can walk through, I can get through, and I can probably knock him out. I honestly thought I'd go in there knocking him out, and so I'll put my hand up now that look, I can never take any fight lightly.
So are you admitting that you did kind of take this fight a bit lightly? I took
mentally, yes. Okay. But training-wise, I train very hard for every fight. I never take any fight lightly, like physically-wise. I mean, I train very hard. But also as well, the last time I made 147. It was a very long time, so I was getting used to making that weight again, you know. So it was a little bit difficult making the weight. It wasn't easy. But obviously, it's because the last fight against Le Greco was 150. The fight before that against Canelo was 155. Sorry. Right. So it was in 2014 when I last made 147. So
why are you asking to fight Kell Brook at 147 then? If you're by your own admission, that it's a bit difficult to get down to the weight. No. And we all know that it's difficult for Kell Brook to get down.
He said yes to coming down to 147, and you know, because I feel the strongest and I feel the best I could be at. Like being at 155, I was never good. 154, sorry, which is the next category up. Being at 150, I still felt like there was a little bit, yeah. Right. Pinch, yeah. Whereas 147 is the right thing. Now, mind you, even though we did 147 for this fight, and I wasn't probably in the same shape as I was in the Alexander fight, or the fight against Clauser, because I took away my strength conditioning for this fight because I wanted to focus more on the boxing as I've got a new trainer. When you have a new trainer, you have to make sure our bond is going to be solid. So we stopped the strength conditioning for the whole fight. We didn't do no strength conditioning for this fight, apart from like normal, triceps and biceps stuff. But other than that, it was all just pure boxing with Joe Goose in like 4 or 5 hours in the gym.
Post-fight, in your interview with Andy Scott, you made it no secret that you want Manny Pacquiao next.
I do, yes, I do want Manny Pacquiao, and the reason for that is because Manny Pacquiao is not only a great fighter, but he's a legend in the sport of boxing, and that's the reason I want that fight. For me to have a name like Manny Pacquiao on my resume would, one day when I look back and I tell my kids, I fought Manny Pacquiao, who in my opinion could be the future president of Philippines, it looks so much better than maybe having another name like Kell Brook. But guess what? That doesn't mean Kell Brook can't be on there. Kell Brook will also be on the resume as well.
Yeah. Well, leading into that, we've got a tweet actually from Zafar that's tweeted in, do you think you will get more credit and respect for beating Kell Brook or Manny Pacquiao?
Globally, I think Manny Pacquiao by far, because Manny is such a superstar in the sport and also a tough opponent and a bigger name. By beating Manny Pacquiao, in a way, you've crossed away all the Kell Brooks, the loss against Danny Garcia, the loss against Prescott, because people are going to be like, oh, you beat Manny Pacquiao, who was at one time the pound best one.
Yeah, but we also got to take into consideration, Amir, that he's 40 odd years old now. He's on the decline. He lost to Jeff Horn, which people thought was a robbery, but in hindsight, it wasn't actually a robbery. And here is somebody like Kell Brook, who is not past peak. He's a younger, fresher of the two. Wouldn't you want to just to shut everyone who's doubting you? Because if you do not take this Kell Brook fight, I'm just saying this now, if you don't take this Kell Brook fight, the British boxing public will never ever forgive you. I hope you realise this, right? You do realise this, right?
But exactly. But look, I'm not saying no to that fight. The thing is, though, at the moment, I take every fight step at a time. Look, tomorrow I could hurt my hand, I could be hit by a car, I might never fight again. This is the world we live in. But in my opinion, what makes more sense for me is taking a Manny Pacquiao fight, because we don't know what Manny Pacquiao's got left in me. Okay, now, in him, sorry. So Manny Pacquiao, like I said, almost 40 years old, yeah? Now, how long has he got left? Whereas Kell Brook's 32. He's same. Kell Brook is very similar age to me. I mean, I think there's a 6 months age difference. I'm 31, he's 32. That fight could definitely be made a lot easier as well, because we with the same promotional company. The fight which won't be there for long is Manny Pacquiao on a global stage. That's the reason, honestly. And like I said, when you look back and I look at my resume and think Manny Pacquiao, I mean, there's a lot of history, there's a lot of talk there, because me and Manny Pacquiao were sparring partners. Then we were good friends. But not only that, we trained together on the Freddie Roach. There was talks about this fight happening 6, 7 before the Kell Brook fight was ever on the table. So that's the reason why I think this fight is a bigger fight for me. It's not a bigger fight. It could be, okay, it might not be a bigger fight for everyone else, but guess what? It's a bigger fight for me, and I fight for myself. You know what I mean? I'm my own fighter. I go in the ring and I give it myself. You know what I mean? Give myself that, and I give everybody a great entertainment.
Another tweet on this subject as well that's come in. Do you think Brook deserves a mega fight against you?
I mean, look.
Does he deserve it?
Why not? I mean, he does. At the end of the day, he's been in some big names. He's fought people like Triple G, Spence. So he's fought some good guys. So definitely he's won a world title. Look, I'm not going to disrespect that. He is a great champion, former world champion, and he's achieved a lot in the sport of boxing. It would be a big fight, definitely. And I think if a fight between me and him happens, it'd be big.
George Hill has tweeted in, how much did you learn from sparring with Manny Pacquiao?
I learned a lot. At that time, I did learn a lot, because when I went to Freddie's gym at the Wild Card in LA, it was a time when I lost against Prescott. Now, my confidence was from there. It went boom, right there. I was at the lowest of my career. And to spar with someone like Manny Pacquiao, who was at the time the pound-for-pound #1, going up against Oscar De La Hoya. So I was his main sparring partner. And when I sparred with him and I did so well against him, I was like, wow, I've just done so well against the pound-for-pound best fighter in the world. And I was beaten, and people were writing me off, said that, Amir, you're finished, you're never going to come back. You were someone who everyone thought you were going to be something and going to be a great champion, but guess what? You're not going to be what you are. And these are comments coming on my social media platform, Twitter, Facebook, whatever. But I ignored it all, and when I sparred Manny Pacquiao and did so well against him, and I had Manny himself come over to me and said, don't give up, keep working hard, you will become a world champion. I went on from that. After sparring with him, 2 fights later, I was become a world champion.
Now, there's been lots of names thrown around in a division that's thriving. Finn Stevens has asked, why is Errol Spence Jr. not being mentioned? Would you take that fight, and how would you beat him?
Errol Spence is a very good fighter, yes. I think talking about Errol Spence, when I've got 2 big names right in front of me, I'd rather fight them, because the Spence fight doesn't make me the same kind of money, or it won't be as big, in my opinion. Brook and Pacquiao is much bigger, maybe financially. I mean, but at the same time, don't get me wrong, maybe Spence might be the better fighter of them all. But once I get past the 2, then I can go to Spence. But at the moment, what makes most sense for me, business-wise, because at the end of the day, we are prize fighters. What makes more business sense is taking those fights.
Spence, I'm going to bring you in on this one. How would Amir beat Spence?
How would he beat Errol Spence?
Speed?
I don't know, bring some gangsters from Bolton to hold Errol Spence, because I think Errol Spence is a serious guy.
He's a very good fighter. I mean,
he's an excellent fighter.
I can tell you how to beat someone like Spence is by being very smart, not standing there with him and taking. He throws great body shots. If you stand there, he's going to throw them body shots. You have to use that in and out, like how I fought the light. Okay, one more thing I want to say. I have a 100% record against southpaws. So that's one of the other reasons I want to fight Manny Pacquiao. Third reason is he's also a world champion. He's got a world title. Now, by beating him, you beat a big name. You've also won a world title for the 3rd time. It'll be amazing, you know. Now, going back to Spence, Spence is a great fighter. He's a southpaw as well. Now, I have a 100% record against southpaws. For some reason, I have a lot of southpaws fighter's number. You know, I know how to work the style quite well. So, I mean, it'll be.
Is that because of all the sparring that you used to do with Manny Pacquiao?
That's right, yeah. And also before, I was really bad fighting southpaws. The reason I got good at it is because in the amateurs, as you know, Spence, is that I think you have to say 80% of the fighters in Europe, when I was qualifying for the Olympics,
southpaws.
All southpaws.
Yeah.
So I had to work on southpaws, and I was fighting southpaws time and time again in championships and competitions. So I got used to fighting them and kind of working on that technique.
I think if you used to fight Errol Spence, everything would have to be about distance. As soon as as soon as he closed the gap, you got really fast hands.
Yeah.
And it was just like when you're saying that you didn't do much strength and conditioning for this last fight, and I think physically we could look on your body and no disrespect, you looked a little bit fleshy to me.
No, I did.
Right?
I looked at it myself.
Right,
I looked at 2 pictures comparing them both together.
So I think you'd have to be in and out and befuddle him. Pretty much
Spence,
similar.
I'll ask you another question. I want to say something else to you as well. Is, you know, when you're fighting like someone like a Spence or a Brook or a Pacquiao, your mental focus is going to be totally different.
1,000,000%.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna be like on fire. It's like, for example, it's like you doing an interview. Are you working now on Sky? You're working on one of the biggest platforms. You work on Sky Television.
The biggest.
The biggest one, the biggest. I'm talking globally. Right. But then if you go and come on the Amir Khan YouTube channel, you're gonna be more relaxed and you're gonna be like, you know, no, that's the difference. Mm-hmm. Now, when you're fighting one of the biggest names in boxing, like the Manny Pacquiaos and the Brooks or whatever, then you're gonna be like, I need to switch on. I need to stay focused throughout the whole fight. But when I was fighting Vargas, no disrespect to Vargas, everyone. I didn't take him lightly. I took him very seriously, but it was just all the social media messages I was reading. People saying, "Oh, you're gonna knock this guy out." So mentally, that plays a big part, because you're gonna be like, "Oh, you know what? To be honest with you, I just have to make weight and turn up, and I win this fight." Do you get what I mean?
Yeah,
so
1,000,000%.
So it does play a big part.
We could spend all day talking about this, but we haven't got much time left. Before we go, I've got to get you on the mega fight that's happening this weekend, someone that you know very well, Canelo. What's Amir's prediction for Triple G Canelo this weekend?
It's a very good fight. And one thing I want to say about that fight is Canelo being caught taking clenbuterol, a form of steroid. We don't know if there's any truth in that.
It was contaminated meat.
Yeah, but we don't know if there's any truth in that. But when a fighter is on something like that and that's been taken away from him, and he's been on that for a long time, and he's generated so much power and strength from that, When that's taken away from him, mentally, that's going to affect him big time. This is what I've heard from other fighters and other coaches. They go, mentally he's destroyed because it's like he's going into the ring without any ammunition.
Right.
You know what I mean? Without any backup. So that's one thing. But looking at videos, I mean, I think Canelo seems a lot faster. He doesn't seem as big, as bulky. And against one like Triple G is a beast. I mean, you have to be on. You have to be working on all cylinders against him, and with power, with speed, because that guy doesn't back down. And if Canelo doesn't have the same power he had in the first fight, I could see Canelo getting stopped or knocked out in the later rounds in this fight.
Spencer, you've not been Golovkin's biggest fan in the past, have you? What are your thoughts?
When people are saying it's not that I'm not the biggest fan, it's because I like fighters when they come through, but when everyone gets gassed on him, I start to go off with him, to tell you the honest truth. I used to love Amir Khan, don't like him no more, right? But no, but I'm just being real. And when I look on someone like Golovkin, he's superb. But technically, you look on somebody like Canelo, he's an excellent fighter. But Amir Khan was showing us how to beat him, because you was beating him, and no one can't tell me you was winning that fight. Golovkin is a different type of fighter, but for morality's sake, I really, really want Canelo to lose, because I'm upset about the whole clenbuterol scandal.
Yeah, it is wrong.
Right,
Giving him only 6 months as well, a ban. I mean, what is that? Nothing.
I don't know. All those things have just left a bitter taste in my mouth.
Same here, it has left a bitter taste in my mouth, because I'm like, we in a sport, boxing, which you could kill someone. You're going into the ring to hurt someone. Now, if you're on steroids or you're on any form of advantage, I mean, it's not good for you. I mean, you should be jailed for it, really.
Yeah, of course.
Because you could kill someone in there, or you can cause harm to yourself. So for them to give him a 6-month ban, I think it's like more of a slap on the wrist and said, have a little break, have a little holiday, forget this fight and come back and.
So I've got Golovkin round 8 stoppage.
Yeah, I'll go round 9.
Okay, well, we shall soon see who is right. Tune in next week for more #toe-to-toe, or check out iTunes for the podcast.